Hey guys, welcome back to Trucking for America. Michael here. I am on my second week of regional driving, so in this video I wanted to share with you guys the things that I learned my first week out last week. Today's Monday, February 12th. What happened at ABF and where I'm hopefully going in the future. So we'll get right into it, try to keep it short. I am at a shipper right now. I've been here for 2 hours, man, and I'm hopefully getting loaded next. So yeah, last week I tried to get into my truck. I'm at a mom and pop regional company out of Fridley, Minnesota. They got about 60 drivers between 3 terminals in Fridley, Des Moines, Iowa, and just outside of Chicago. So they have local, regional, and OTR stuff. I couldn't get on the local because they got, you know, guys that have been here for 20, 30 years. They kind of do their local stuff. Their local stuff is kind of slower right now. And then their regional, you're typically out Monday through Friday, home for the weekends. And then they do have OTR stuff down Midwest to California to Texas to Florida. And so I tried to get into my truck on the Friday before last week, and to bring my, you know, bedding and clothing and things like that, kind of get the truck ready. But it wasn't clean, so there was a ton of dog hair and stuff from the last guy, and so I called my dispatcher, you know, hey, you know, it's not clean. So they had a detailer come in Monday morning at 8 o'clock. Took them about 3 hours. So Monday I had a late start, and that's one thing that I learned is you're a slave to the hours of service. If you start late on Monday, it just snowballs the rest of the week. It's hard to catch up. And what I mean by that is, you know, if you're going into trucking or in the trucking world, you kind of know you can drive up to 11 hours a day, you can work up to 14 hours a day, and then you have to have a 10-hour break or rest in between days. That's kind of your typical, you know, there's exceptions and what have you, but that's your typical, you know, hours of service. And so, for example, if you're able to start Monday morning, you know, I started today at 7. Like I said, I've been at the shipper for over 2 hours now. It's 11:15 a.m. Today was looking really good, but now I'm going down towards Kansas City, and you know, I was you know, if I could have got here and just got loaded, I would have been down there 4 or 5 o'clock. You know, take a shower, park. And you know, from 5 p.m. or 6 p.m., you know, 10 hours you're talking 4 a.m. you could start the next day. So that's, you know, the earlier you can start on Monday, you know, and if everything goes well, loading and unloading, that's one thing I learned last week too. You have no control over. So like I said, I've been at this shipper for over 2 hours now. Last week I had places where I was in and out in 20 minutes, you know, so, and you just don't know really. There are appointment times usually, but you know, and I knew this, so there's a lot of great content on YouTube out there, guys. I would say, you know, check it all out. Check out, you know, depending on what you think you want to do, kind of look for those people on YouTube, and there's a ton of great content. I knew a lot of these things coming into it, and so but you know, until you can watch a video and listen and take in all the information, but until you're kind of experiencing things, sometimes it's hard to click. And one of those was being away from home. So that was another thing too, was it was kind of a rough week last week, my wife and I, and yeah, you know, when I left ABF, my last video, speaking of which, if you had questions on ABF, I had the comments turned off. I apologize about that, or they were turned off. They weren't turned on. So if you still have comments, or if you still have questions about ABF, leave them down here or in the other video. The comments are turned on, and I'll get back to you right away with any information that I can give you. But I did leave ABF. You know, my wife knew I was miserable. I was coming home miserable every day. You know, she didn't like that. But I did ETS out of the Army National Guard and quit ABF pretty much the same week, and so that left us without any insurance. This driving job that I came to pays quite a bit more than what we were making at ABF. So that was kind of, you know, my weighing factors. And I did kind of keep in my mind, like, you know, if we need to get insurance again, I was going to join the Air Force Reserves. Over the past week, I contacted ABF, see if I could go back there. I left on good terms. Long story short, we're not going to end up going back there with the economy where it is. They have guys that aren't even working full time at the bottom of the list, and that's where I would go. And my wife and I, we can't do that. That's for the foreseeable future. They don't see that changing anytime. The next bid cycle is April, and so it wouldn't change by then. And then September. So we're talking into next year in the winter. And again, I'm not trying to be on the dock in the winter. So with that being said, I'm going to work and do the best that I can here while I'm here at this regional gig. I'm going to run hard. We're going to try to make some money, but in the meantime, I am looking to try to find something union, something that I'm home local, every night. And that's, for everybody, that's going to be different. I think a lot of things in trucking in the Army, I'm going to do a separate video. They are a lot alike. There's a lot of sacrifices that are made that people aren't really aware of, or you don't realize it until you do it. And but sitting at a shipper, hurry up and wait is kind of the the Army motto, and it's just, yeah, there's a ton of similarities, but so the hours of service, the hours of service, so I can't say much more than that. Something else, guys, is if you're planning on going OTR or regional, and I would highly suggest going regional first, so that you can really experience kind of what it is to be in the truck, for a week, more than a day at a time or what have you. Because food prep, clothing, laundry, showers, all these things are kind of new when you're out on the truck all week. My wife packed me about 2 lunch pails worth of food last week, and it wasn't enough. I didn't bring enough food. I didn't plan well enough. And so this weekend we went out Saturday, made a list, got a whole bunch of stuff that kind of keeps well, for more than a day. I have a small fridge on the truck, but I don't have a microwave. That's kind of a big deal. I know many mega carriers, a lot of companies, they'll have at least a fridge on the truck, but sometimes they won't have a microwave. You'll have to put one in yourself. There are microwaves at truck stops, so this week I got quite a few Tupperware of meals that I can bring, and they need to be heated up, so I'm hoping to hit truck stops at the right time. Again, that's depending on your hours of service and where you're going and where you're loading and unloading and all these things. Sometimes, last week I Thursday and Friday I was a trip out to Michigan and back, and I slept at the receiver, so it's you're not always, you know, going somewhere, sleeping at a truck stop that night. You're going to get a shower. You're going to get, you know, to use the microwave. It's just a lot of things are dependent on, you know, how your day's going, and one day at a time. So the hours of service, and then meal prep. There's a lot of good YouTube content again out there. Groups on Facebook, like Cooking in the Truck is a group. A lot of people sharing different ideas, what kind of appliances they have on the truck, how they're doing it, things like that. So those are some big things I learned last week. Yeah, and then again, the reality of being away from home. And so make sure, you know, if you're single, hey, you know, this doesn't really apply to you, but if you have a spouse, family, children, you know, making sure that everybody's on board. And again, I would highly suggest trying regional first if you do have, you know, family, because it's, you know, you can hear it and you can know it, but it's different to do it. And you know, us being in the Guards, 2 different contracts. You know, I had a deployment back in 2011. You know, I was thinking, hey, you know, my wife and I, we've done it. You know, and our daughter, you know, we've been there, done that, was kind of my thinking going into this, right? But you know, as you get older, times change. You know, I was talking to one of my buddies, coworker at ABF, and you know, and it's kind of cliche to say this, but you know, and with the lifestyles and things that our society is promoting, you know, the family's kind of on the back burner. But I told him, you know, there's not a better feeling for me than, you know, laying down in my bed every night and falling asleep holding my wife's hand, you know. And in this, you know, some couples go on the truck together, and, you know, we can't do that right now. That might be in our future, but you know, we have kids at home, so you know, yeah. So that the last week was kind of rough. You know, I don't have any issues. Again, you know, I've been in the military. You know, sleeping on the truck, you know, sleeping away from home, you know, it's not a huge issue for me. But I am getting older again. You know, times change, things change, our bodies change, our minds change, and you know, if I can be home every night, that, you know, that would be great. Like I said, it's kind of cliche to say, but man, yeah, there's something to be said about falling asleep next to your wife, holding her hand, and that's why I say, you know, there. And when I went out to Michigan on Thursday, you know, when I was leaving Chicago area into the tip of Indiana, I don't remember the interstate. I don't have all these roads memorized like most of these truckers do, but going into Chicago for miles, the interstate, you know, on the other side was 5 lanes, and it was trucks just for miles, hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of trucks. And I told my wife, you know, somebody's husband, somebody's wife, somebody's mom is driving that thing. You know, we're not automated trucks, you know, right now. And so, you know, yeah, there's tons of people in this country that do this for a living. They're away from home every day, every night and day, and you know, they're unnoticed to the general public, the driving population. You know, it's just. And so that's, you know, that's why I say, you know, it was rough for my wife and I, but there's people out there doing it, and, you know, our hats go off to them, you know, like, and that's why I kind of compare the trucking world to the military world. There's a lot of similarities, and so, but yeah, if you guys have any questions about my week or whatever, I ran 2,540 miles, which is pretty good. Like I said, I had a little downtime at a couple shippers and receivers. I did a couple dropping hooks. So I think Thursday and Friday from Minneapolis to Michigan were my biggest days, at close to 600 each day. And my dispatcher said that's a great week. So again, it's my first week, so I don't have a lot to compare it to, but it went relatively well. And so yeah, that's where we're at. If you guys, like I said, if you guys have any questions, let me know in the comments. And also, if you guys liked, I tried to do a short, but it wasn't a short, it was a regular video of the 240 Bravo, my unit last year when we were and E5 and myself, we were teamed up to qualify on the 240. I put 249, but he reminded me it was a 240. I do have video. I do have the footage from us qualifying, on the range, the qual range for the 240. If you guys like that stuff, let me know, and I can. It's about 20 minutes of just of qualifying. So it's machine guns. If you like that stuff, I went over the footage, and on the 240 range, the targets are 700 to 1,000 meters out. So when I went over the footage, it's kind of hard to see the targets. So the videos, it might just be 20 minutes of you listening to a machine gun. But again, if you're into that kind of stuff, I can go back and re-look at the footage. I may have some buddies that may our photographer in our unit, and then another buddy that's kind of better at editing than I am. Maybe they know how to zoom in the footage a little bit. Like I said, when I looked over it, it was kind of hard, and I wasn't sure on how to zoom it in and all that stuff. But I do have that. And then also the photographer in our unit, she has her own business. She does photography. She's doing music videos and things. She did a video during our annual training last year, and it's super cool. And so she gave it to me, and I'm going to upload it. There's no speaking or anything. She's got music in the background, but it's just cool footage from our annual training last year. And I may do a commentary over it. I may just upload it. I'm not sure yet, because with the commentary, I could at least explain kind of what's going on in each kind of little clip. But if you guys like that stuff, that's kind of what's coming, what I have. And like I said, it's a super cool video, so that's the main reason why I want to upload it. And just so if you're into that kind of stuff, I hopefully have that coming up. But yeah, you guys enjoy. If you have any questions, let me know. God bless you and your families. Keep working hard out there, and we'll catch you in the next one.